This is the story of a university. Not just any university, though. It's a French university within China, and a modern institution embedded in tradition. It survived 3 regimes, 2 relocations, and an invasion, totaling in a whopping 31 years. And yet, after surviving the most turbulent 3 decades in Chinese modern history, it mysteriously bankrupted at the dawn of peacetime. This is the story of l'Université Franco Chinoise, the Sino-French University. With aid from French funds, Chinese intellectuals such as Li Shizong and Zhang Jingjiang expanded the original Xishan Biological Research Center in the western hills of Beijing to form this university in 1920. However, the buildings we see in this video came from 5 years later, at around 1925, when this institution had already profited enough to be able to relocate to the city center. 1 year after this point, they earned approval from the Chinese Ministry of Education. Said university then proceeded to establish numerous campuses around the city. For instance, the Kant campus of philosophy at Fuchengmen, the Voltaire campus of humanities and literature as we see here today, the Curie campus of physics and chemistry, as well as the Lamarck campus of biology. Amongst them, the Curie campus would develop its very own subordinate for specialized research on the radioactive chemical element radium, which the namesake of this campus had discovered at Paris-Sorbonne. The Sino-French University was highly revolutionary for its time period. Its educational philosophy is far more advanced than those of the same age. Keep in mind that we're talking about the 1920s and 1930s in China. China is just beginning its industrialization and revolutionary movements. The new national government had just been established a mere decade earlier, in 1911. While most other institutions were conforming to traditional Confucian principles, this one chose not to comply. Instead, it attempted to create a Western-style, subject-divided learning environment, so that it could train students that's highly skilled in fields like natural sciences and physics, but also in the social sciences and the humanities. Essentially, it would bring up intellectuals that the new Republican China would need. A very big irony in the history of this university is that a lot of its alumni are actually Chinese Communist Party members, who later on participated in anti-imperialist movements that, quote-unquote, got rid of this university and the French imperialist influence it represents in China. Unfortunately, the good days didn't last for very long for the university. Their downfall started from the outbreak of the total war between China and the invading imperialist Japan forces, following the 1937 Marco Polo Bridge incident. The puppet Japanese government installed over China mandated the university to cease all operations, to which the then President Tsai Ing-pei outright refused. In defeat or in defiance, the institution fled to Kunming in the south to restart. They joined another band of fleeing institutions named the Southwestern Joint Universities, Xinan Lianda. The chaos during their evacuation and the lack of resources down south rendered the university unable to sustain their academic rigor. The damaged university found it hard to repair their permanent hardware damage even after the war had ended in 1945. It relocated back to Beijing in 1946, where resources continued to dry up as nationalists and communists tore the tattered nation apart in their civil war. The university relocated back to Beijing and admitted its last batch of freshmen in the same year. School administrators realized that they were out of money to spend. In 1946, the university admitted its last batch of freshmen, and 4 years later, as the final students graduated, the school was left in peace at last. It survived through the most difficult 3 decades in Chinese history, and yet the wounds and scars left behind rendered it unable to continue to a more recent tomorrow.